Hello students, welcome back to the class. Today we will going to discuss the real gas equation. Now the deviation of the gas from the ideal behavior. So what we are going to discuss here now? In the study of the behavior of the gases, we have seen that all gases obeys different gases law as well as the gas equation PV equal to nRT, that is the ideal gas equation. A gas which obeys the gas law under all conditions of temperature and pressure is called as an ideal gas. Look at these two laws. This is Boyle's law and Charles' law. Okay, as the what we observed that volume is inversely proportional to the pressure of the gas if the temperature and mass of the gas is kept constant. Is that clear to you now? And in the second case, if the that is called Charles' law, that is Charles' law. If the pressure and the mass of the gas is taken constant, then what we have observed? We have observed that in that case, volume is proportional to the temperature. And for each and every gas, look at that arrow. For each and every gas at a temperature of 0 Kelvin, that is minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, the volume occupied by the real gas as well as the ideal gas will be 0. That is the lowest possible theoretical temperature. But it is quite interesting to note that none of the known gas respond to the ideal behavior under all conditions of temperature and pressure. It means the real gases, they behave somewhat different. Their characteristics do not completely match the postulates of the kinetic theory of the gases. However, they tend to approach such a behavior when pressure is very low or temperature is very high and derive maximum under the reverse conditions. When the pressure is very high or temperature is very low, such gases are called real gases. It means that when pressure is very high and when the temperature is very low, then what we have observed, lot of deviation have been observed. A gas which does not follow ideal gas behavior under all set of temperature and pressure is called as a real gas. Okay, sure about that or not? Very much sure. Now, Amagat's, Andrew, and many other scientists studied the behavior of different gases under varying conditions of temperature and pressure. Deviation with respect to pressure. The deviation of ideal gas behavior with respect to pressure can be studied by plotting P versus V for gases. The curve or the isotherm of the real gas should coincide with the curve of the ideal gas. However, the two curves are not same. However, at very high pressure, the volume of the real gas is more than the volume of the ideal gas. I am repeating once more. You get that what is trying to say. Now look at that pressure. That is very high pressure. Okay, and that at high pressure, okay, this yellow circled, okay, it shows you what? It shows the volume of the real gas. So you can say volume of real gas is greater than that. This is what? Volume of the ideal gas. Look at that. This is volume of the real gas. This is volume of the ideal gas. So V real is greater than what? V real is greater than the V real is greater than the V ideal at high pressure. Okay, at low pressure, what is happening at this point? Look at that. At this point, okay, look at that. At this point, at this point, what we are observing? We are observing that both the graphs are coinciding. So there is a pressure, volume, temperature. So what can we say? That there is a pressure, temperature, volume at which V ideal is equal to V real. But above that what happens? So at low pressure what happens? At low pressure what we are observing? We are observing that V real is less than V ideal. So at very high pressure, this is the observation. Okay, at very low pressure, this is the observation. So that you have to make into account. Now in this case, what we'll observe that the extent of deviation which real gas shows from the ideal behavior at different temperature and different pressure can be followed in terms of compressibility factor. So you can say that the deviation of the real gases from the ideal behavior, okay, is given by a term that is known as compressibility factor, and that term Z is equal to PV by nRT. Okay, for ideal gases the value of Z is 1, so Z is compressibility factor, and that value of Z is what? That value of Z is 1 in case of ideal gases. For real gases the value of Z is not equal to 1. So when the value is not equal to 1, what it can be? It can be either greater than 1 or less than 1. So if it is less than 1, this means that gas is more compressible than expected from the ideal behavior. This is known as negative deviation. If Z is greater than 1, it indicates that gas is less compressible than expected from the ideal behavior. The deviation is regarded as the positive deviation. Okay, the deviation is known as what? It is known as the positive deviation. The plot for the compressibility factor with respect to the pressure for different gases like CO2, methane, nitrogen, hydrogen at a particular temperature are given in the figure that we are going to discuss in the next case. So what can we say? That Z can be less than 1. It means gas is compressible more than the ideal behavior. And if Z is greater than 1, it means the gas is less compressible than from the expected ideal behavior. Are you sure about that? So answer is very much sure. Now, if we observe that graph, what we are observing that Z is equal to 1, then it comes out to be horizontal to the x-axis, that is P. So the graph of an ideal gas will be horizontal to the x-axis, that is given P. So the in case of each and every gas, look at that, in each and every gas, this portion is known as Z less than 1, that is negative deviation, below the ideal gas line. So every gas except that of hydrogen and helium. Helium is not drawn here. If helium is there, it will be drawn like that. Okay, are you sure about that or not? So in case of what? In case of hydrogen and helium, only you can say positive deviation. But in every other gas, you will find a negative deviation. You will find a negative deviation, and that negative deviation will go up to a minimum value. And when after reaching that minimum value, only then it will start journey towards the Z equal to 1, and then after that onwards Z greater than 1. So it means that in all those cases, what we are observing that on increasing the pressure, first we show what? First we will show a negative deviation from the ideal behavior. Are you getting that or not? So what we are expecting in negative deviation from the ideal behavior, and they will go to up to a minimum level, and after reaching that minimum level, again only then can go high. Okay, now this region show what? This region shows you Z greater than 1. So it means that after reaching a particular value, every gas will show a positive deviation. So that particular point is called as the Boyle's temperature of that particular gas. So above boil temperature, every gas shows what? Every gas shows an positive deviation. Are you sure about that? Now, as I told you that for every gas there will be first a negative deviation. Look at that negative deviation. Look at that negative deviation. Only for hydrogen and helium there is what? There is a positive deviation always. Remember that. I am repeating once more to you. Hydrogen and helium always shows positive deviation. Always shows positive deviation. They never show what? They will never show negative deviation. Are you sure about that? So hydrogen and helium always shows positive deviation. Always shows positive deviation. Clear understood now? So you have to understood very clearly now. Now you have to again that the gases in which attraction is like methane is there, or carbon dioxide, or sulfur dioxide, in which intermolecular attractive forces are large, they will show more negative deviation. They will show more negative deviation than like nitrogen, oxygen gases. Okay. So nitrogen and oxygen will show negative deviation, but lesser than these ammonia, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide. Okay. So rather than ammonia, CO2 and SO2, they can become what? Liquid by applying pressure also very easily in comparison to nitrogen and oxygen. Now let's look at the effect of temperature. The effect of temperature on the behavior of gases can be studied by selecting a particular gas. For example, we have selecting nitrogen gas. The plot between the different values of P and corresponding value of PV are shown you in the given figure. For the plots, it is evident that deviation from the ideal behavior is quite large at a low temperature. So, what is happening at low temperature? At low temperature, there is a large gap, while at the high temperature, there is a very small gap. Okay, so large gap and small gap. So, at T1, the gap between the lowest dip, okay, is more, but at T4 the lower dip is comparatively less. So as the temperature of the nitrogen is allowed to increase, the dip of the curve becomes lesser and lesser. In other words, we can say that deviation from the ideal behavior goes on decreasing with the increase in temperature. Are you sure? So deviation from the ideal behavior, it becomes lesser and lesser as the temperature increases. So you can say that as the temperature becomes higher and higher, the gas becomes closer and closer to the ideal gas. I am repeating once more. As the temperature becomes what? As the temperature becomes higher, okay, gas tends to go towards what? Go towards ideal behavior. However, at a temperature T4, the dip almost disappears and the curve is almost horizontal to the z equal to 1 line. Okay, the temperature is known as the Boyle's temperature. So the temperature at which a real gas behaves like an ideal gas is known as the Boyle's temperature. The value is equal to Tb is equal to A by Br, where A and B are what? Where A and B are van der Waals gas constant, or you can say real gas constant, van der Waals gas constant. We will discuss that, don't worry. A represent the intermolecular attraction and B represent the molecular size. I am repeating once more. A represent the intermolecular attraction and B represent the molecular size. Are you sure about that or not? So that you should be know. So for the nitrogen gas, the boiled temperature is 323 Kelvin, and for the hydrogen it is 108 Kelvin. Are you getting that or not? I am repeating once more. For nitrogen, the boil temperature is 323 Kelvin, and for hydrogen it is 108 Kelvin. Are you sure about that? Very much sure. Now, what we are observing further, at the boil temperature, real gas behaves like an ideal gas. Above boils temperature, the gas always shows positive deviation, so Z is greater than 1. Below boils temperature, real gas shows negative deviation, so Z value is less than 1. Okay, look at that. Here we are observing CO2 lowest dip, methane lowest dip, hydrogen and helium never show the negative deviation because they have very low intermolecular attractions. I am repeating once more, helium and hydrogen, the you can say lightest gases known, they never ever show what? They never ever show the negative deviation. Now we have to look at what are the causes of the deviation. The different gases law have been derived from the kinetic gas equation, which are based on the postulate of kinetic theory of gases. Since the gases do not obey various gas law under all conditions of temperature and pressure, it is reasonable to assume that some of the postulates must be defective. And two postulates are defective. What they are? The number one defect is what? The number one defect is the volume occupied by the gas molecule is negligible. The volume occupied by the gas molecule is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. And second, the force of the attraction and repulsion among the gas molecule are negligible. The volume occupied by the gas is negligible. First is what? The volume occupied by the molecule is negligible, very very less than what? Volume of the vessel or volume occupied by the gas. Next, the force of attraction is neglected. Now these concepts are not the true, means have some requires, although they are somewhat okay, but at, if you see at micro level, if a molecule is present somewhere, it is a matter. So, and matter occupies space, water occupies mass, occupies space. So, when it occupies space and mass, so it means what? Matter cannot go into other matter. Okay, once a place or volume or mass has been occupied by the particle, the other particle can be below it, above it, or beside it. But a molecule cannot go into other molecule. Remember that. Okay, sure about that? So a molecule cannot go into the other molecule, that you have to understand. Okay, sure about that? Overlapping is possible, but going inside into each other is not possible. Are you getting that or not? Now first we have to consider the volume correction, that is known as NB. Okay, once a volume is occupied by a molecule, then that volume is not available to any other particle, because a gas particle always occupies some space, and in addition to that, the gas molecules are always in motion. So these molecules always require some extra space where they can freely move, not once but always. So that space must also be available, and that space is not available to any other molecule. So let us suppose the total volume of the particle, if there are n number of particles are there, and volume of each particle is 4 by 3 pi r n cube. So I am repeating once more. So the volume occupied by the particle plus the volume needed for its motion, okay, both should not be available to any other molecule. In order to understand that, consider two particles. So van der Waals consider two hard sphere particles which can come close together. So what can happen here? By imagination you can draw the diameter between these two center of the molecule, and taking that radius, this is r, this is r, so this is o, this is o dash. So take o dash equal to what? Take o dash equal to r plus r, so it comes out to be 2r, that is equal to r of the imaginary sphere. Let us suppose this push here, so this will push down here. So now in this volume which is given by the blue dotted lines, what can happen? These two molecules can what? They can travel always together. In that volume what can happen? If you can push that sphere here and that sphere here, then in that volume they can keep on revolving always. So it means that in the blue dotted volume, these two molecules which are red colored, they can keep on moving always. So it means what? It means volume always occupied by the two moving gas particles, that will be equal to what? 4 by 3 pi r cube, that is the blue dot volume. Yes or no? In that volume these two red sphere can always spin together. Take an imagination. Okay, so in place of r you can put twice of r. Look at that figure once more. R plus r becomes 2r or not? So capital R is equal to actually twice of r. So it becomes what? It becomes 8 times, because 2 power cube is equal to 8. 4 by 3 pi r cube. So it is 8 times volume of a sphere, volume of a molecule. Are you getting that or not? This is 8 times. It means, so this is what? This is volume occupied by two moving gas spheres. So it means what? It means volume always occupied by a single molecule, that is equal to 8 into volume of a molecule divided by 2. It becomes what? It becomes 4 times the volume of the sphere. 4 times the volume of the sphere. So that volume is not available to any other molecule. I am repeating once more. Are you getting that or not? Sure about that? This is called as excluded volume. Excluded volume. Exclude the volume that is not available to, any other molecule. You get that or not? Okay, so if there are, let us suppose if there are, so this is called as B, that is equal to 4 times the volume of the molecule. So if there are n number of molecules, n is what? Number of moles, or means number of molecules. So n number of molecules always occupy what? Okay, they always occupy NB amount. So what can happen? So volume what? So volume ideal minus NB will be what? Will be the real volume. Will be the real volume. So from the vessel volume, ideal means volume of the vessel. Ideal means volume of the vessel. You will write, in place of that, you will write V volume of the vessel minus NB. Are you getting that in your mind now? Sure? Very much sure. Now the pressure of the gas, is due to the bombardment of the gas molecules with the wall of the container. Are you getting that or not? So pressure of the gas is due to the bombardment of the gas with the wall of the container. Sure about that or not? Clearly understood? Now in the bulk, what happens? In case of bulk, a molecule is surrounded by the other molecules around itself. Okay, so you can say, let us suppose this is a molecule that is surrounded by the other molecules. So net force experienced by similarly this molecule surrounded by this molecule, similarly this molecule surrounded by these molecules. So molecule is always surrounded by the other molecules. But when a molecule is about to strike the wall of the container, let us suppose this is the molecule that is about to strike the wall of the container, there are molecules beside it and behind it, but there is no molecule in front of it. And due to that what happens? The molecule which is about to strike, which is about to strike the wall, has no molecules in front of it, but molecules are present behind and beside it. So it experiences a backward pull, a backward attraction. And due to that, what happens? It strikes, because it experiences a backward pull from the back of it. So the force with which it has to strike the wall now becomes less. Okay, so the force experienced by it from behind will make it what? Will make it force experienced by it from behind will make it strike the wall with lesser vigorous. Are you sure about that or not? So that thing must be in your mind always. Now look at the pressure correction once more. Let us assume that the real gas exerts a pressure P. The molecule that exerts the force on the container will get attracted by the molecule of the immediate layer, which are assumed not to be exerting pressure. It can be seen that pressure the real gas exerts would less than the pressure on the ideal gas, because the real gas experiences attraction by its molecule in the reverse direction. Okay, when the molecule is what? When the molecule is about to strike it experiences a backward pull from the other molecule. Okay, sure about that? So it experiences a backward pull. That is not in case of ideal gases, because in case of ideal gases there is no intermolecular attraction. Okay, so what happens there? So therefore, if a real gas exerts a pressure P, then an ideal gas would exert a pressure equal to P plus P. Are you getting that or not? If the real gas exerts a pressure P, the ideal gas would have exerted a pressure of what? P plus P. What is P equal to here? P is called pressure correction. So pressure correction in this case equal to what? Pressure correction in this case will be equal to proportional to number of molecules striking the vessel, striking the wall into the backward force experienced by it. Okay, so it is number of molecules colliding will depend upon what? It will depend upon concentration N by V, that how many molecules are present per unit volume, and how much experience each molecule experience. It will also depend upon the number of molecules present just behind it. So that is also proportional to concentration. So pressure correction proportional to what? N by V into N by V. Okay, so remove that proportionality sign, and it becomes equal to A N square by V square. So P real would be what? P earlier plus A N square by V square. It is P ideal plus, so it is what? So you can see that P real will be equal to that now. So PV is equal to nRT. Now becomes what? P equal to nRT. P becomes P plus A by N square by V square, and V becomes N minus NB nRT, and that equation is known as van der Waals gas equation. It is called as van der Waals gas equation, where AN square by V square is called as pressure correction, and NB is called as the volume correction. Now in the last, what we have observed that Van der Waal applied correction for both these defects, that is molecular volume and molecular attraction, and he given the equation Van der Waal gas equation. The equation states that P plus A n square by V square, V minus NB is equal to nRT. For 1 mole, what happened? For 1 mole n is equal to 1, then it becomes P plus A by V square into V minus B. Here A is constant for molecular attraction and is called attractive coefficient. This means that if attractive interaction in the molecule of a gas are large, the correction coefficient A also has a large magnitude. Are you getting that or not? Sure about that or not? So you have to understand that here A is a constant for the molecular attraction and is also called the attraction coefficient. This means that if the attraction interaction in the molecule of a gas are large, the coefficient A also has a large magnitude value. Okay, but compared to the value when attractive interaction in the molecule are very less. Similarly, B is the constant for molecular volume, which has also called co-volume or excluded volume. Remember that one more thing, that value of A dominate in negative deviation. Okay, value of A dominates in negative deviation and value of B dominates in what? Dominates in positive deviation. So you have to memorize that. Okay, so A dominate in what? A dominate in negative deviation and B dominate in positive deviation. A represent intermolecular attraction and B represent the molecular size.